Captain Hyunwoo stood on the bridge of the UES Phoenix, watching the stars shift and change as they came out of hyperspace. He had done this jump 100 times before, but something felt different today. The navigation screen showed empty space, but his gut told him otherwise. "Taemin, report," he said to his navigation officer. Taemin looked up from his console, his young face worried. "Captain, we're not where we should be. The star charts don't match anything in our database." Hyunwoo walked over to check the readings himself. After 3 years of exploring the outer rim of human space, he had learned to trust his crew completely. Taemin had never been wrong about their position before. "So Young, how are our engines?" Hyunwoo called to his chief engineer. From the engine section, So Young's voice came through the comm system. "All good, Captain. No problems with the hyperspace jump. We went exactly where Taemin told us to go." The Phoenix was not a big ship. It had a crew of only 40 people, but they were good people. Hyunwoo had handpicked each one of them. So Young was the best engineer he had ever worked with, even if she sometimes fixed things in ways that made no sense to anyone else. Jin Ho, his weapons officer, was calm and smart, always ready for trouble. Yoonji, their communications specialist, could learn any alien language in days. "Captain," Yoonji called from her station, "I'm picking up some strange signals, very faint, but definitely artificial." Hyunwoo felt his heart beat faster. New alien signals meant first contact, and first contact could go very wrong very quickly. "Put it on speakers," he ordered. The bridge filled with strange sounds. Some were high-pitched, almost like insects buzzing. Others were low and harsh, like rocks grinding together. Both types of signals were coming from different directions. "Taemin, can you find the source of these signals?" Hyunwoo asked. "Working on it, Captain." Taemin's fingers moved quickly over his controls. "Got them. 2 large groups of ships about 50,000 kilometers apart. And Captain, they're fighting." "Fighting?" Hyunwoo moved to look at Taemin's screen. The display showed dozens of red dots facing dozens of blue dots. Between them, smaller dots were moving fast, probably missiles or fighters. "Yoonji, can you understand anything from those signals?" "Give me a few minutes, Captain. But from the patterns, it looks like military communications. Battle orders, damage reports, that kind of thing." Hyunwoo thought carefully. The Phoenix was an exploration ship, not a warship. They had weapons, but not enough to fight a real battle. Their job was to explore new worlds and make peaceful contact with alien races. But stumbling into a space battle was not part of the plan. "Jin Ho, what do you think? Can we stay hidden?" Jin Ho studied his weapons and sensor displays. "Maybe, Captain. We're small compared to those ships, but if they have good sensors, they'll find us eventually." "Movement," Taemin called out. 3 ships breaking away from the main battle. They're coming this way." On the main screen, Hyunwoo could see the approaching ships. 2 were sleek and dark, with curves that looked almost alive. The third was angular and gray, with sharp edges and what looked like gun turrets all over its hull. "Different designs," Jin Ho observed. "Definitely 2 different species." The ships were getting closer. Soon they would be close enough to detect. "The Phoenix, So Young," Hyunwoo called. "How fast can we move if we need to?" "Fast, Captain. I've been working on the engines. We can probably outrun anything that size." Hyunwoo made his decision. "All right, everyone. We're going to move closer and observe, but we stay ready to run. I want to understand what we're dealing with here." "Captain," Yoonji said, "I'm getting clearer signals now. The insect-like sounds are definitely from the curved ships. They seem to be coordinating as one group. The harsh sounds are from the angular ships, and they sound more individual." "Individual? How?" "Like separate commanders giving orders to their own crews. The insect ships sound like they're all thinking together." The Phoenix moved carefully toward the battle. Hyunwoo kept them far enough away to escape, but close enough to see what was happening. What they saw amazed them. The battle was huge. Hundreds of ships on each side, firing weapons that lit up space like fireworks. The curved ships shot beams of green energy that seemed to eat through metal. The angular ships fired balls of blue plasma that exploded like tiny suns. But what surprised Hyunwoo most was how they fought. Both sides lined up in neat rows and shot at each other, like old Earth naval battles. There was no creativity, no surprise attacks, no clever tricks, just two lines of ships trying to destroy each other with brute force. "This makes no sense," Jin-Ho said, watching the battle. "Look how they fight. They're not even trying to outmaneuver each other." The curved ships replaced their damaged vessels instantly. So Young reported from her engineering station. "It's like they can grow new ships. And the angular ships just keep charging forward even when they're losing," Taemin added. "No retreat, no regrouping." Hyunwoo watched more carefully. Both alien fleets were powerful, but they fought like they were following a script. Every move was predictable. Every tactic was something humans had tried and abandoned centuries ago. Suddenly, alarms started beeping. "Captain," Taemin called. "We've been spotted. 3 ships from each side are heading toward us." On the screen, 6 alien ships were approaching. The Phoenix. 3 curved vessels moved together in perfect formation. 3 angular ships spread out, approaching from different angles. "So Young, prepare for emergency jump," Hyunwoo ordered. "Ready, Captain." But then something unexpected happened. The 6 alien ships stopped. They formed a circle around the Phoenix, but they didn't fire. Instead, both groups started broadcasting signals directly at the human ship. "They're trying to communicate," Yoonji reported. "Both groups are asking the same questions: who we are, where we come from, why we're here." Hyunwoo looked at his crew. They were far from home, surrounded by alien warships, with no backup coming. But they were explorers. This was what they had signed up for. "Yoonji, open a channel. Let's talk to them." "Both groups, Captain?" "Both groups." The main screen split in 2. On the left appeared a creature that looked like a giant mantis, but with 6 arms and silver skin. On the right was something that looked like a crocodile walking upright, covered in scales and scars. Both aliens spoke at the same time, their words translated by the ship's computer. "Unknown vessel, identify yourself," they both said. Hyunwoo stepped forward. "I am Captain Hyunwoo of the human exploration ship Phoenix. We come in peace." The 2 aliens looked at each other on the split screen, then back at Hyunwoo. "Human?" the mantis creature said. "We have no record of this species." "Nor do we," said the crocodile alien. "Are you here to aid our enemies?" "We are not here to aid anyone," Hyunwoo replied carefully. "We are explorers. We study the galaxy and seek peaceful contact with new civilizations." Both aliens seemed confused by this answer. "All species choose sides," the crocodile said. "You must choose. Veltar or Keth." "Choose now," the mantis agreed. "The war allows no neutrals." Hyunwoo realized he was looking at something bigger than just a space battle. These 2 species had been fighting so long that they couldn't imagine anyone not picking a side. He made a decision that would change everything. "We choose neither," he said. "But we would like to learn about both of you. Perhaps there is another way." The aliens' faces showed emotions that needed no translation: shock, confusion, and something that might have been hope. "Another way?" the mantis creature whispered. "Impossible," growled the crocodile. "The war is eternal." But Hyunwoo saw something in their eyes. After centuries of fighting, maybe they were tired. Maybe they wanted another way too, but didn't know how to find it. "Let us try," he said simply. And in that moment, everything changed. Our 3 days had passed since Captain Hyunwoo's first contact with the Veltar and Keth fleets. The Phoenix now floated between the 2 massive battle groups, protected by a temporary ceasefire that both sides called Curiosity Pause. Hyunwoo stood in his ready room studying the data his crew had collected. The door chimed and Jin-Ho entered with a data pad in his hands. "Captain, I've finished analyzing their battle patterns," Jin-Ho said, sitting down across from Hyunwoo. "You need to see this." "What did you find?" Jin-Ho activated the holographic display on the desk. It showed the recent battle between the 2 alien fleets. "Watch how they fight, Captain. The Veltar always attack in groups of 12 ships, always. The Keth always respond with 7-ship formations. Every single time." Hyunwoo watched the replay. Jin-Ho was right. The alien fleets moved like they were following a dance they had practiced for centuries. They never changed their tactics, Jinho continued. The Veltar send their bioships forward in straight lines. The Keth meet them head-on with plasma fire. When Veltar ships get damaged, new ones grow from the fleet carriers. When Keth ships get damaged, they keep fighting until they explode. No. Retreats? None. Retreating seems to be against both of their cultures. They'd rather die than back down. Hyunwoo rubbed his chin thoughtfully. What about surprise attacks? Flanking maneuvers? Nothing like that. They announce their attacks before they make them. Both sides. It's like they think it's dishonorable to attack without warning. The door chimed again. So Young entered, her engineer uniform dirty from crawling through engine compartments. Captain, I've been studying their ship designs, she said, pulling up a chair. The Veltar bioships are amazing. They can heal themselves and grow new parts, but they're slow and predictable. And the Keth ships? Fast and powerful. Their plasma weapons could punch holes through our hull easily. But they're fragile. One good hit in the right place and they're finished. Hyunwoo thought about what he was hearing. So both sides have strengths and weaknesses, but neither side tries to exploit the other's weaknesses. Exactly, Jinho said. In human military history, we learn to hit the enemy where they're weak while protecting our own weak spots. These aliens just don't. Yoonji's voice came through the comm system. Captain, incoming transmission from both fleets. They want to talk. Put them through to my ready room. The holographic display changed to show the same two alien commanders from 3 days ago. The Veltar collective node called itself Zix, and the Keth war prince was named Thork. Human captain, Zix spoke first, its multiple arms moving in patterns. We have studied your ship. Your technology is interesting. Thork growled agreement. Your vessel moves in ways we have not seen. How do you change direction so quickly? Hyunwoo glanced at his officers. We use something called three-dimensional thinking. We don't just move forward and backward, we use up, down, and sideways too. Both aliens looked confused. Explain, Thork demanded. So Young leaned forward. Your ships fight like they're on a flat surface. But space has no up or down, we can attack from any angle. This is possible? Zix's insect-like head tilted sideways. We'll show you, Hyunwoo said. But first we want to ask you something. Why are you fighting this war? The two aliens looked at each other through the holographic connection. The Keth are our ancient enemies, Zix said. We fight because we must evolve through conflict. The Veltar are our worthy opponents, Thork replied. We fight to prove our honor and strength. But why did the war start? Hyunji asked. Both aliens paused. They looked uncertain. The war has always been, Zix said finally. For as long as our histories record, Thork agreed. Hyunwoo exchanged glances with his crew. Neither side remembered why they were fighting. They were fighting because they had always fought. Would you like to see how humans fight? Hyunwoo asked. Yes, both aliens said immediately. Very well. We propose a demonstration. Choose a small group of ships from each fleet. We will show you human tactics. But remember, this is just for learning. An hour later, 12 Veltar bioships and 7 Keth plasma cruisers faced each other in a clear area of space. The Phoenix floated nearby, broadcasting tactical advice to both sides. Veltar ships, Hyunwoo spoke into his communication system. Instead of charging straight forward, try spreading out. Attack from different angles at the same time. Keth ships, Jinho added. Don't wait for them to get close. Use your speed to stay at long range where your plasma weapons work best. The demonstration began. For the first time in centuries, both fleets tried something new. The Veltar bioships split into 4 groups of 3. They approached the Keth ships from 4 different directions instead of charging straight ahead. The Keth ships, instead of forming their traditional line, spread out and kept moving, firing their plasma weapons from maximum range. The result was immediate and shocking. Within minutes, the Veltar had lost 8 ships. The Keth had lost 5. In a normal battle between forces this size, maybe 1 or 2 ships would be destroyed. Stop, Both Thork and Zix shouted at the same time. The demonstration ships pulled back immediately. What happened? Zix demanded. Why did so many ships die so quickly? Hyunwoo felt sick to his stomach. He had expected the human tactics to be more effective, but not this much more effective. Human tactics are designed for maximum efficiency, he explained carefully. We developed them fighting against enemies who were stronger than us. We had to win quickly or die. This is how humans fight each other? Thork asked, his scaled face showing something that might have been fear. When we have to, Jin-ho replied. Honestly, but we prefer not to fight at all. So Young spoke up. On Earth, wars became so deadly that we stopped fighting them. We learned it was better to talk and trade than to kill each other. Both alien commanders stared at the humans in silence. You stopped fighting wars? Zix asked. Mostly, Hyunwoo said. We still have conflicts, but we try to solve them without killing. We learned that cooperation makes us stronger than fighting. Thork's expression changed. But how do you prove your strength without fighting? We prove our strength by exploring space, building new worlds, and helping other species, Yoonji explained. Fighting is easy. Building something together is much harder. The communication channel was quiet for a long time. Finally, Zix spoke. If humans can make our fleet so deadly against each other, what would happen if humans decided to fight us? Hyunwoo had been dreading this question. We don't want to fight anyone. That's why we're here talking instead of shooting. But you could destroy both our fleets, Thork said. It wasn't a question. Probably, Hyunwoo admitted. But we won't. We're explorers, not conquerors. Why should we believe you? Thork demanded. Because, So Young said quietly, if we wanted to conquer you, we would have attacked 3 days ago when you were busy fighting each other. Instead, we asked to talk. Both aliens considered this. What do you propose, human captain? Zix asked. Hyunwoo took a deep breath. Meet with us, both of you. Let's discuss this war you're fighting. Maybe we can find a better way. A way that doesn't involve so much death, Jin-ho added. Thork growled softly. The Keth do not back down from fights. We're not asking you to back down, Hyunwoo said. We're asking you to think about what you're fighting for. The Veltar will consider this, Zix said after a pause. As will the Keth, Thork agreed reluctantly. After the communication ended, Hyunwoo's crew sat in silence. Captain, Taemin said finally, do you think they'll really consider peace? Hyunwoo looked out at the two massive fleets, still facing each other across the darkness of space. I don't know, but for the first time in centuries they're thinking about it. That's a start. And if they decide to fight anyway? Jin-ho asked. Then we'll have to decide what humans do when two empires want to destroy each other. The Phoenix continued to float between the two fleets, a tiny human ship that had just changed the rules of a war that had lasted for centuries. The human warship that changed the fate of two empires. The neutral space station was old and forgotten, floating in empty space between the two warring fleets. Long ago, it had been a trading post where different species met to exchange goods. Now it was the perfect place for something that hadn't happened in over 200 years. Peace talks between the Veltar and the Keth. Captain Hyunwoo walked through the station's main corridor with Jin-ho and Yoonji beside him. The artificial gravity was weak and the air smelled stale, but it was better than trying to hold the meeting on either fleet's ships. Are you sure about this plan, Captain? Jin-ho asked quietly. No, Hyunwoo replied honestly. But it's better than watching them destroy each other for another 2 centuries. They entered the station's main conference room. It was a large, circular space with windows showing the stars outside. 2 groups of aliens waited on opposite sides of the room. The Veltar delegation was led by Collective Node Yix, a larger version of the insect-like creatures Hyunwoo had seen before. This one had 8 arms instead of 6, and its silver skin seemed to shimmer with moving patterns. Behind it stood 12 smaller Veltar, all moving in perfect synchronization. The Keth delegation was headed by War Prince Gorth, a massive crocodile-like being covered in scars and wearing metal armor. Unlike the Veltar, the Keth behind him, all looked different. Different sizes, different scars, different weapons. Each one was clearly an individual warrior. Humans. Collective Node Yix spoke first, its voice sounding like many people talking at once. We have agreed to this meeting because your tactical knowledge intrigues us, but do not think this means we desire peace. War Prince Gorth growled in agreement. The Keth fight because fighting is what we are. We will hear your words, but we will not abandon our honor. Hyunwoo walked to the center of the room. Thank you both for coming. Before we begin, I have a question. Why did this war start? The room fell silent. The Veltar and Keth looked at each other, then back at Hyunwoo. The war began because Collective Node Yix started, then stopped. Because they attacked us first, War Prince Gorth said, pointing at the Veltar. No, Yix replied, its arms waving. The Keth invaded our space, we defended ourselves. That's not what our records say, Gorth snarled. Your records are wrong, Yix shot back. Hyunwoo held up his hands. Stop, both of you. How long ago did this war begin? 237 years, both aliens said at the same time. And in all that time, how many of your people have died? The room grew very quiet. Millions, Yix whispered. Countless warriors, Gorth added, his voice softer than before. And what have you gained from all this fighting? Yoonji asked gently. Neither, Alien answered. Hyunwoo sat down at the conference table. On Earth we fought wars for thousands of years. We fought over land, resources, religion, and ideas. We got very good at killing each other. But eventually we realized something important. What? Gorth asked. That fighting wasn't making us stronger. It was making us weaker. Every war cost us people, resources, and knowledge. We decided to try something different. What did you try? Yix asked. We tried working together instead of fighting each other. We shared our resources and knowledge. We built things together that none of us could build alone. Like spaceships that could travel between stars. War Prince Gorth leaned forward. But how do you prove your strength without fighting? We prove our strength by surviving in space, exploring dangerous worlds, and helping other species solve their problems, Jinho explained. It's much harder than fighting. But fighting is our nature, Yix protested. The Veltar must evolve through conflict. It is how we grow stronger. Is it working? Hyunwoo asked bluntly. What do you mean? Are you stronger now than you were? 200 years ago, have you evolved? Yix's arm stopped moving. The smaller Veltar behind it looked uncertain. We have maintained our strength, Yix said finally. But you haven't grown stronger, Hyunwoo pointed out. You've been fighting the same war the same way for over 2 centuries. That's not evolution, that's stagnation. Gorth slammed his fist on the table. The Keth do not stagnate. We are the greatest warriors in the galaxy. Then why haven't you won this war? Yoonji asked quietly. The question hung in the air like a challenge. Gorth's scarred face showed anger, but also something else, doubt, because Gorth started, then stopped. Because both of your species are equally matched, Hyunwoo continued. You've been fighting for so long that you've forgotten how to do anything else. You've forgotten what you're fighting for. We fight for honor, Gorth roared. We fight for survival, Yix added. No, Hyunwoo said firmly. You fight because you've always fought. You fight because you don't know how to stop. The room was silent again. Some of the smaller aliens on both sides were looking at each other with expressions that weren't hate or anger. They looked tired. Hyunwoo stood up and walked to the windows. I want to show you something. Look out there at your fleets. Everyone moved to the windows. In the distance, they could see the 2 massive battle groups facing each other across empty space. How many ships do you see? Hyunwoo asked. The Veltar fleet has 437 vessels, Yix replied. The Keth fleet has 389, Gorth added. Over 800 ships, Hyunwoo said. Thousands of crew members, all of them ready to die for a war that started before any of them were born. for reasons that nobody remembers. What are you suggesting? Gorth asked. Hyunwoo turned to face both alien leaders. I'm suggesting a test, a final battle, but not like the ones you've been fighting. Explain, Yix demanded. Each side chooses their best ships and crews. Equal numbers. The battle will be fought using human tactical advice, but with one important rule. The side that wins gets to dictate the terms of peace. Peace? Gorth laughed harshly. There can be no peace between Veltar and Keth. There can be if one side wins decisively, Hyunwoo said. The winner gets to decide how this war ends. They can choose to continue fighting, or they can choose something different. And if we refuse? Yix asked. Then you continue fighting the same way you've been fighting for 200 years. Your fleets will keep destroying each other, your people will keep dying, and nothing will change. But if we accept? Gorth asked. Then you'll see what war really looks like when fought with human tactics. You'll see how deadly efficient warfare can be, and then you'll have to decide if that's really what you want. The two alien leaders looked at each other across the room. For the first time, they weren't looking at each other with pure hatred. There is risk in this, Yix said slowly. Great risk, Gorth agreed. But also, possibility. What kind of possibility? One of the smaller Keth warriors asked. Gorth looked surprised that one of his subordinates had spoken, but he didn't scold him. The possibility that this war could finally end, Gorth said quietly. One way or another, Yix added. Hyunwoo waited. This was the crucial moment. Either both sides would agree to try something new, or they would walk away and continue their endless war. The Veltar will consider this proposal, Yix said finally. As will the Keth, Gorth replied. But, Yix continued, we want something in return. What? Hyunwoo asked. We want to understand how humans think about war. You say you stopped fighting? Each other. How did you do it? Hyunwoo smiled sadly. We learned that the strongest victories come not from defeating your enemies, but from turning them into allies. Impossible, Gorth snorted. Is it? Yoonji asked. You've been fighting each other for over 2 centuries. You know each other's strengths and weaknesses better than anyone. You respect each other's fighting ability. In some ways, you're more alike than different. We are nothing like the Keth, Yix protested. We are nothing like the Veltar. Gorth agreed. You both just said exactly the same thing, Jinho pointed out. The aliens paused, realizing what they had done. You both value strength and honor, Hyunwoo continued. You both have advanced technology. You both have been fighting this war for so long that it's become part of who you are. Maybe it's time to become something new. What do you propose? Gorth asked. Win or lose, after this final battle, consider working together instead of against each other. Explore the galaxy, find new challenges, prove your strength by building something instead of destroying it. And if we refuse, then you continue this war until one of you is extinct. But I don't think either of you really wants that. The room fell silent as both alien leaders considered Hyunwoo's words. We will need time to discuss this with our fleets, Yix said. Time to prepare, Gorth added. Take all the time you need, Hyunwoo replied. But remember, this could be your chance to end a war that has already lasted too long. As the aliens filed out of the conference room, Hyunwoo stayed by the windows, looking out at the two fleets. Do you think they'll agree? Jinho asked. I think they're tired of fighting, Hyunwoo replied. They just don't know how to stop. And if they do agree to this final battle, then we'll show them what human warfare really looks like. And hope they decide they want something better. The ancient space station continued to float between the two fleets, a neutral ground where enemies had met to discuss the possibility of peace for the first time in over 2 centuries. The human warship that changed the fate of 2 empires, the Nexus system was perfect for the final battle. 3 dead planets orbited a dying star, with asteroid fields and gas clouds providing cover and obstacles. Both fleets had agreed to the HFY terms, 50 ships each, their best crews, and human tactical advisors for both sides. Captain Hyunwoo stood on the bridge of the Phoenix, watching the two battle groups take their positions. His crew had split up for the first time in 3 years. So-young was aboard the Veltar flagship, working with their bioengineers. Jin-ho was on the Keth command ship, teaching their warriors about concentrated firepower. Yoon-ji had set up communication relays to coordinate with both fleets, while Taemin remained on the Phoenix to observe and record everything. "Captain," Taemin called from his station. "Both fleets report ready." Hyunwoo opened communication channels to both sides. "This is Captain Hyunwoo. Remember, this battle continues until one side surrenders or is completely destroyed. The winner decides how this war ends. Are you both ready?" "The Veltar are prepared," came Collective Node Yix's voice from their flagship. "The Keth are ready." "For glory," War Prince Gorth replied from his command ship. "Begin," Hyunwoo said. What happened next would be talked about for centuries. Instead of the traditional straight-line charge both fleets had used for 200 years, the Veltar bioships scattered like seeds in the wind. Following So-young's advice, they split into small groups and approached the Keth fleet from 6 different angles. Some hid behind asteroids, others used the gas clouds for cover. The Keth ships, guided by Jin-ho's tactical knowledge, didn't form their usual honor lines. Instead, they stayed mobile, using their speed advantage to maintain distance while firing their plasma weapons at maximum range. The first engagement was devastating. Within minutes, 12 Veltar bioships had been destroyed by concentrated plasma fire from unseen Keth vessels. But the Veltar had learned too. Their coordinated attacks from multiple directions overwhelmed 5 Keth ships before they could retreat. "This is incredible," Taemin whispered, watching his displays. In a normal battle, maybe 2 or 3 ships would be lost in the first hour. They've already lost 17. On the communication channels, Hyunwoo could hear the confusion and fear in both fleets. "Where are they?" a Keth warrior shouted. "I can't see them. Our bioships are dying too fast," a Veltar drone commander reported. "This is not how we fight." But the battle was just beginning. So-young's voice came through the comm from the Veltar flagship. "Captain, I'm teaching them about hit-and-run tactics. They're starting to understand." The Veltar began using their bioship's ability to heal themselves in new ways. Instead of staying in long battles, they would attack quickly, take damage, then retreat to heal while other groups attacked. It was like fighting a swarm of angry bees that could heal their stings. Meanwhile, Jin-ho was revolutionizing Keth tactics. "Don't fight with honor," he told them. "Fight to win. Use ambushes. Attack their weak ships first." The Keth warriors struggled with this advice. Everything in their culture said to fight the strongest enemies first, to prove their courage. But as they watched their ships being destroyed by Veltar swarm tactics, they began to adapt. A group of Keth ships hid behind a large asteroid and waited. When a damaged Veltar bioship came close, trying to heal itself, they attacked all at once. The bioship was destroyed before it could even call for help. "Dishonorable," War Prince Gorth roared from his command ship. "Effective," Jin-ho replied calmly. "Do you want to win or do you want to be honorable?" The battle raged for 3 hours. Both fleets learned and adapted faster than they had in 2 centuries of war. The Veltar discovered the power of deception and misdirection. The Keth learned the value of patience and surprise, but the human tactics were working too well. By the 4th hour, the Veltar had lost 32 ships. The Keth had lost 28. The space around the dead planets was filled with wreckage and debris. Bodies of both species floated in the vacuum. "Stop this madness," Collective Node Yix suddenly broadcast on all frequencies. "This is not war. It's slaughter." "Agreed," War Prince Gorth replied. "We are destroying each other too efficiently. This is not the way warriors should die." Both fleets stopped fighting immediately. Hyunwoo felt sick as he looked at the casualty reports. In 4 hours, they had lost more ships than most battles lost in days. "Captain," So-young's voice was shaky, "I think I made a mistake. The Veltar are terrified. They've never seen death come so quickly. Same here, Jinho reported from the Keth fleet. These warriors have fought for years without seeing this much destruction. They're asking me what kind of monsters humans are. Hyunwoo realized his plan had worked too well. He had wanted to show both sides how deadly warfare could be, but he hadn't expected them to learn so quickly, or to kill each other so efficiently. All fleets, this is Captain Hyunwoo, he broadcast. The demonstration is over. Return to your starting positions. But the battle is not finished, Gorth protested. No one has surrendered. No one needs to surrender, Hyunwoo replied. You've both seen what you needed to see. 30 minutes later, representatives from both fleets met aboard the Phoenix. Collective Node Yix and War Prince Gorth looked shaken. Behind them, their surviving officers looked even worse. Human Captain. Yix spoke first. Your tactical knowledge is terrifying. We have been fighting for over 2 centuries. Gorth added, and we have never seen such efficient killing. This is how humans fight each other? One of the Keth officers asked. When we have to, Hyunwoo replied sadly. But that's exactly why we stopped. Stopped? Yix asked. Wars became so deadly that we realized we had 2 choices, Yoonji explained. Either destroy ourselves completely, or find better ways to solve our problems. What did you choose? Gorth asked. We chose to work together, Hyunwoo said. We turned our enemies into allies and our weapons into tools for exploration and building. The room was quiet as both alien leaders considered this. But you could destroy both our fleets, Yix said. Why don't you? Because destroying you doesn't help us, Taemin answered. Working with you might. Working with us how? Gorth demanded. Your biotechnology could help us explore dangerous worlds, Hyunwoo explained. Your plasma weapons could help us mine asteroids. Your knowledge of this part of space could help us find new worlds to settle. And what do we get? Yix asked. You get to stop killing each other, So Young said simply. You get to build something instead of destroying it. War Prince Gorth looked at his officers, then at the Veltar delegation. I have fought the Veltar for 20 years. I have killed hundreds of their warriors. They have killed hundreds of mine, but today I learned something. What? Yix asked. They are better fighters than I thought. If we fought with these human tactics, we would all be dead within a year. The Keth are also better warriors than we believed, Yix admitted. Their adaptation to new tactics was impressive. You respect each other, Jinho observed. Both alien leaders paused. Yes, Gorth said reluctantly. I respect their fighting ability. And we respect their courage, Yix added. Then maybe it's time to respect each other's right to live, Hyunwoo suggested. The Phoenix's bridge was silent except for the hum of the life support systems. Finally, War Prince Gorth spoke. What exactly are you proposing, human? I'm proposing that you try working together for 1 year. Pool your resources, share your knowledge, explore new worlds together. If after 1 year you still want to kill each other, you can go back to war. And if we don't want to go back to war, Yix asked, then you build something new, a civilization that combines the best of both your species. This is madness, Gorth muttered. This is possibility, Yix corrected. Both leaders looked out the Phoenix's windows at their damaged fleets. 60 ships had entered the battle. Only 38 remained. The old way of fighting leads to extinction, Hyunwoo said quietly. The new way leads to survival. The choice is yours. Gorth and Yix looked at each other for a long moment. 1 year, Gorth said finally. 1 year, Yix agreed. To try something that has never been tried before, Gorth continued. To see if ancient enemies can become allies, Yix finished. Hyunwoo smiled for the first time in days. Then let's start building something new. Outside the Phoenix, the 2 fleets slowly began moving toward each other, not for battle, but for the first joint operation in over 2 centuries of war. 1 year later, Captain Hyunwoo stood in the observation deck of New Haven Station, the first joint Veltar-Keth construction project. Through the transparent walls, he could see something that would have been impossible just 12 months ago. Veltar bioships and Keth plasma cruisers working together to build a new space habitat. The door opened behind him, and War Prince Gorth entered, no longer wearing his battle armor. Instead, he wore the simple work clothes of an engineer. Behind him came Collective Node Yix, its silver skin now marked with colorful patterns that showed individual thinking rather than collective thought. "Human Captain," Gorth said, using the respectful tone he had learned over the past year. "The Council is ready for your final report." "Final report?" Hyunwoo asked, turning to face them. "On whether the experiment worked," Yix explained. "Whether former enemies can truly become allies." They walked together through the station's corridors. Everywhere Hyunwoo looked, he saw Veltar and Keth working side by side. A Veltar engineer was teaching a young Keth how to grow biometal components. A group of Keth warriors was learning Veltar healing techniques to help injured workers. "What do you think?" Hyunwoo asked as they walked. "Did it work?" Gorth paused at a window showing the construction site outside. "6 months ago I would have said no. My warriors were unhappy. They missed the glory of battle." "What changed?" "We found a new enemy," Yix said, its arms moving in what Hyunwoo had learned was the Veltar expression for excitement. "Enemy?" Hyunwoo was concerned. "I thought you were working together now." "Not each other," Gorth laughed, a sound Hyunwoo had never heard from the usually serious warrior. "Space itself. Dangerous worlds, deadly radiation, asteroid storms. Exploring the galaxy is more challenging than fighting each other ever was." They entered the council chamber, a large room where representatives from both species now met to make joint decisions. The Trilateral Council, they called it, with humans as the third voice. So Young was already there, surrounded by Veltar and Keth engineers. She was explaining something on a holographic display that showed a new type of ship design. Jinho sat with a mixed group of warriors from both species, discussing patrol routes for their joint exploration fleets. Yoonji was working with linguists from both races, creating a new common language. Tae-min was at a navigation station with alien pilots, planning routes to unexplored star systems. "Captain," So-young called out, "Look at this." Hyunwoo walked over to her display. It showed a ship design unlike anything he had ever seen. The hull had the flowing organic curves of Veltar biotechnology, but it was reinforced with the angular, efficient plating of Keth engineering. The weapons were a combination of both technologies, bioplasma cannons that could heal themselves and grow stronger. "It's beautiful," Hyunwoo said honestly. "And powerful," added Commander Rak, a Keth warrior who had become So-young's closest collaborator. "Stronger than anything either of our species could build alone." "This is what we wanted to show you," Yix said, its individual patterns glowing brighter. "Cooperation has made us stronger, not weaker." "But there's something else," Gorth added, his expression becoming serious. "What?" "Other species are watching us," Jinho explained, joining the group. "Our scouts have detected probe ships from at least 3 different alien civilizations. They're curious about what happened to the 2 empires that suddenly stopped fighting. Some of them are friendly," Yoonji added. "Others, not so much." "What do you mean?" Hyunwoo asked. A new voice spoke from across the room. "They mean that some species liked the galaxy better when the Veltar and Keth were busy killing each other." Everyone turned to see a figure they didn't recognize, a tall, thin alien with blue skin and 4 eyes. It wore no weapons, but something about it seemed dangerous. "Who are you?" Gorth demanded, his hand instinctively reaching for a weapon that wasn't there. "I am Ambassador Nex of the Varl Republic," the blue alien said. "We have been watching your experiment with great interest." "Watching how?" Yix asked, its arms moving in defensive patterns. "The Varl have been the dominant power in this sector for 3 centuries, Nex explained. "We maintained that dominance by making sure other species stayed busy fighting each other. Your peace threatens our position." Hyunwoo felt cold. "You've been encouraging the war between the Veltar and Keth?" "Not encouraging, simply not discouraging." We occasionally sold weapons to both sides. Sometimes we provided intelligence that kept the war balanced. We preferred a stable conflict to an unstable peace. You used us, Gorth growled, his peaceful demeanor disappearing. And now you want us to go back to fighting, Yix added, its patterns turning angry red. Actually, no, Nex said, surprising everyone. We've seen what humans can do to ancient conflicts. We've studied your tactical innovations. We know that if the Veltar and Keth went back to war now, using human strategies, they would destroy each other completely within months. Then what do you want? Hyunwoo asked. We want to join your alliance, Nex said simply. The room erupted in surprised voices. Join us? Gorth shouted. You've been manipulating us for centuries. Exactly, Nex replied calmly. We know how dangerous divided civilizations can be, but we've also seen how powerful united civilizations can become. The Varl Republic wants to be part of that power, not destroyed by it. Hyunwoo looked around the room at the mixed crews of Veltar, Keth, and humans. A year ago, half of these people had been trying to kill the other half. Now they were working together to build something new. What do you think? He asked the room in general. I think, So Young said slowly, that if the Varl have been watching us, others have too. Maybe it's time to show the galaxy that cooperation is stronger than conflict. The Varl have technology we could use, Rak admitted reluctantly. Their stealth systems are better than ours. And we have things they need, Yix added. Biotechnology, plasma weapons, and most importantly, human tactical knowledge, Gorth finished. Hyunwoo walked to the center of the room. 1 year ago, I proposed something that seemed impossible. I asked two ancient enemies to work together. Instead of fighting, you proved it could be done. What are you proposing now, Captain? Nex asked. I'm proposing the Phoenix Doctrine, Hyunwoo said, a new way of thinking about galactic civilization. Explain, several voices said at once. Instead of empire building through conquest, we build through cooperation. Instead of growing stronger by making others weaker, we grow stronger by making others stronger too. Any species that wants to join the alliance can, but they have to. Follow 3 rules. What rules? Nex asked. Jinho stood up. No member species can attack another member species. All member species share their technology and knowledge, Yunji added. And most importantly, Taemin finished, human tactical doctrine is shared for defense only, never for conquest. What if someone refuses to follow the rules? Gorth asked. Then they face the combined fleets of the alliance, Hyunwoo said. Simply. United, we're stronger than any single aggressive species. Ambassador Nex was quiet for a long moment. The Varl Republic accepts these terms. Just like that? Yix asked suspiciously. We've seen what happens when humans get involved in wars, Nex replied. We prefer to be allies rather than enemies. Over. The next hour, they worked out the details. The Phoenix Doctrine would be named after the human ship that had started it all. New Haven Station would become the first capital of the Galactic Cooperation Alliance. Human tactical advisors would train alliance fleets, but only in defensive strategies. As the meeting ended, Hyunwoo found himself alone with his original crew on the observation deck. Did you ever think it would work this well? Taemin asked. Honestly, no, Hyunwoo replied. I hoped we could stop one war. I never imagined we'd start a galactic alliance. What happens now? So Young asked. Now we explore, Jinho said, pointing to the stars outside. Together. The alliance has already identified 12 star systems that need investigation, Yunji added. Some might have new species to contact. Others might have resources we can share. And if we run into aggressive species, Taemin asked, then we show them the same thing we showed the Veltar and Keth, Hyunwoo said, that working together is more powerful than fighting alone. Outside the station, the first joint exploration fleet was preparing to launch. Veltar bioships, Keth plasma cruisers, Varl stealth vessels, and human exploration ships all flying together under a new flag. The Phoenix, rising from the ashes of old conflicts to build something new. Captain, So Young said quietly, Do you think other humans will approve of what we've done? Hyunwoo thought about Earth, about the human colonies, about his people's long journey from a war-torn planet to the stars. I think they'll be proud, he said finally. We didn't conquer the galaxy. We helped it conquer itself, conquer its own tendency toward endless conflict.